Hey, this is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface from Wes Craven's Scream, and you are watching and tuned into Craven Something Scary.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, visitors, subscribers, patrons, and Cravenites. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. But guys, this is a really special night, and I'm excited for this guest. We've had this planned for quite some time now, and it just so happens that he's in my city tonight in Houston, just finishing up a convention for this weekend. And it's his birthday. So we're actually finishing off his birthday tonight with him. And I think that's really cool. So I'm very excited to bring him on. And we don't have a ton of time with Matt tonight, but I'm so thankful for the time he's going to be able to share with us. And so we're going to make the most of that time. All right. So we're going to get right into it. So, guys, he has done an amazing career. I mean, his oh my gosh, the films he's worked on, television, is overwhelming. It's just fantastic, and it's a real honor and a treat tonight to bring him on for all of you and for myself to get some more behind the scenes information on some amazing work he's done. You've seen him in a lot of stuff, and tonight we're going to focus on a couple of movies. One of them is one of my favorite movies ever, of Urban Legend. Oh my gosh, guys, you know Urban Legend. That movie, we did a watch party here not too long ago for Urban Legend. It is absolutely fantastic. He is playing someone that you may recognize. There you go. Oh yeah, that's right. The killer in Urban Legend. Matt is here. We're going to talk a lot about that, and we're also going to be talking about another very, very, very good movie that I personally really enjoy, and that is American Psycho. So anyway, we're going to have fun. So guys, get ready. Be sure you're sending your questions for Matt now that you have. Super Chats move to the front of the line as always. And without further ado, please welcome to the stream, Mr. Matt Birman. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how are you, Steven? Good to see you.
You too. Thank you for making some time out. I know it's late, and you're at the end of the festival, convention weekend, and I appreciate this very much.
It's really cool to be here, man. I can't thank you enough. It's going to be
listen,
I hope we
likewise.
can have a blast.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And again, as I was kind of alluding to, I'd love to just kind of ask you one question to start us off. And I'm always curious to find out because it's so fascinating. Before we get into the specific films, I would like to know your origin story as a performer in the film industry. Like, how did it start for you? Where was the passion? When did you first have the passion? And then how did those doors open up for you initially?
It's complicated and really easy question to answer. Both of my parents were actors.
Okay.
So I didn't really stand a chance in terms of not being bitten by the bug and not being in showbiz. My mom stopped when I was born, but my father was a very successful actor in Canada, in Montreal, Toronto, and then moved to Los Angeles and worked in New York. And when you're put on stage or brought backstage when you're 9 years old, you can't help but get bitten by the bug. So I didn't really have a choice. But my modern, not counting when I was a kid, but when I was 16, the summer of my 16th birthday, my father had me visit him in Tennessee, and he was working on a pilot, and it was a period piece with horses and guns and Confederate soldiers, and it was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was just gobsmacked. I was like, I want to do this, and I never looked back. The
Wow.
same summer that he bought a house in Los Angeles, and I have been going back and forth my entire life.
Fantastic.
That's how it started. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Matt, just FYI, I sent you a note in the private chat when you get a second. If you could just
Oh.
when you get a chance, I appreciate it. Just to check that out. I
Oh yeah.
love that. I love that. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a real sort of show busy thing, but it's the way it was. You know what I'm
Yeah.
going to do, Steve? I'm just going to move myself because there's no way I'm going to get them turned down.
Oh, okay. If that's all right, sure.
I will. I'm just worried about. I'm worried about light, and
Okay. Well,
let me ask somebody see if they can turn it
okay.
down.
You
It's
got it.
not
You
loud to
got it.
me, but it's loud to you. So hold
Well,
on one second.
it's just coming through. Yeah, it's coming through a little bit.
Chester,
Um, all right. So yeah, guys, this is a
music
real
go down a
treat,
tiny bit.
and it's
Whatever music we're hearing,
pretty
just a tiny
awesome
bit.
that we see a lot of folks that are in the industry with family, how it kind of carries generationally. It really does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
passes
And you know what
down.
the funny thing, my father, the worst thing he could do was the whole time when I was a kid, 16, 17, 18, visiting him on sets and seeing him, was him always going, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. This is terrible. Don't do this. And that
Yeah.
just makes me want to do it more, right? And then I
Yeah.
find myself, I do it to my own kids, and it's like, and then they're both in it, and they're both doing it, and they're like, well, it's your fault, Dad. So you can't help.
That's awesome.
That's the origin story. It's a very not boring, but it's a very
Yeah.
it's a classic showbiz story, right? You
Yeah.
cannot help but get bitten by the bug.
Oh man. And then it's been like history from that point. I mean, just everything started growing and going to snowballing for you over time. That's
Yeah,
so amazing.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed. In fact,
Yes.
that first summer, I was starting theater school in Montreal, and
Okay.
I got a little tiny gig on something that was too exciting to turn down, and I had to call the theater school and tell them I won't be coming back for another 6 weeks. And they were angry with me for the rest of my tenure at that school. Like they were like, "How dare you?" I was supposed to
Right.
play. I was supposed to play. I'm classically trained Shakespearean actor. It's what I was gonna do, and I still want to. It's not over yet. That dream's not over yet. But I was
Oh yeah.
playing. I was playing Orlando in As You Like It, and I literally called them or had my mother call them probably and just said, he can't play Orlando. He's got a job. And it was like,
Yeah.
it was the beginning of the end, just
Yeah.
movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal. And what I've noticed too, in speaking with a lot of folks in the industry, it's like, once you get in there and you do a good job and you show your work ethic, and it begins to be very almost niche, almost our networking is very tight, right? Like a very tight networking, and because it's like with anything, if you always want to work with people that do great work, and
Yeah, for
move
sure.
along. Yeah.
And I was never good at what we call the schmooze. I'm still not good at it. And I've always wondered if I may have gone further sooner if I was better schmoozing. And it's just not something I was ever comfortable doing. I grew
Sure.
up with my dad was this beautiful sort of no bullshit guy, and he was like, I never sold myself out. I was like,
Yeah.
we're all guilty of schmoozing at some level, at some point, at some
Sure.
time. But for me, I've always done it after I've gotten the job. It's like
There you
I want you
go.
to like me that much more. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've been using this expression this whole weekend in Houston. I'm here in Houston at the horror film festival. It's fantastic. I've been using this very cliche #grateful idea, and it's like, you know what? The older
Yeah.
you get, and it's my birthday, and
Yes.
it's true. It's true. You really are grateful. You know,
Absolutely.
talking to Lee Waddell,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yesterday, and we were both tired. It was like 11 o'clock. It's like, okay, I'm going to bed. He's like, welcome, kid. I'm the new veteran, right? I'm like, I think I'm older than him, but he's done 1,000 of these, and I've done one. And he was like, just be yourself, just be authentic, And we
That's
have the
right.
luxury of when it comes to Scream or urban legend, nobody knows what we look like. I said, how cool is it? You and I
It's
can
true.
just walk through the lobby. Nobody knows who we are
Nope.
until somebody goes, "That's the guy from Scream."
That's
Very
right.
cool.
It's very cool, and everyone who sees this live stream and replay is going to know now. They'll be able to put the face with the character, which is cool. And speaking of characters and urban legend, I would love for us to dive into this because that really is one of my most favorite films. It's done so well, and Jamie Blanks did an incredible job, directing that, putting that together, and what a great cast, and just anyway, it's a really really fun movie.
Oh, I'm
And
so glad to hear
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, 100%. And I always thought, Matt, that the kill. It's just, I mean, look at that. That is what is. No one wants to see that person coming towards
Yeah,
you. You just
took
don't.
it kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to ask you, regarding this costume with the covering over the, under the hood, like, can you walk us through, like, what was the mechanics of
Yeah,
that costume?
it's very simple. It's going to be almost, there's no great, incredible,
Hmm.
like a zombie movie. It doesn't have any great story. There's underneath the hood, it's just a big parka. It's like a big Canada Goose or whatever they call them. And I
Okay.
have a balaclava on, and under that I had giant, huge black eye makeup, like raccoon eye,
Okay.
so that the only thing they could possibly ever see was just the whites of my eyes. And when they did, we
Ah,
would figure out how not to show it. So the reason
yes.
it's so blacked out, and what I'm finding here at the festival is like this shot here looks like
Yeah.
it's been manipulated and
Hmm.
post production and to make it more black than it really was in the whole. But there is something really scary about not having a face of any kind,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and Jamie did a great job in not ever showing it. When they could see my eyes, they would be like, see your eyes, look away, do this, do that, whatever, do whatever you have to do. Get rid of the whites of my eyes. There's nothing we could do about the whites of my eyes. We didn't have black lenses back then. We didn't
Ah,
have we didn't have anything we could wear, and when we did have lenses, they were a pain in the ass, right? So
I can
I'm
imagine.
noticing people wearing lenses now this weekend,
Hmm.
like in real life, that are
Yeah.
comfortable and you can wear them all day long. I'm like, I didn't have those on any of my zombie movies. I would kill for those
Oh
lenses.
gosh, I
And
bet.
there's a vendor at a booth, and the vendors they're like $29.95. I'm like, God, what has happened to technology? If I had a
Right?
pair of black or dark gray or whatever, it's like I could have gotten away with. It would have been way easier. But it is literally just a parka over a balaclava. And my
Okay.
kid went out to Halloween as Neo one year. Might have been 2 or 3 years after Urban Legend, and I was like, what am I going to be? I got to be something. I'm taking my kid around the neighborhood, and I grabbed the parka and I threw out, did this to the hood, and he's like, "What are you?" I said, "I'm me in Urban Legend."
That's
And
awesome.
nobody knew what it was, but I was like, "It's a costume."
Man.
But this,
Well,
that shot in the radio station with Tara
yes,
is
yes.
iconic, and I don't know if any of us knew, uh, either Jim, the DP, or Jamie, or any of us knew that the way this light and this reflection and there's
Hmm.
something about this like being scary, but in a whole bunch of light.
Yeah,
Usually scary is usually in the dark, right? Scary is usually just comes at you out of nowhere.
that's
And
right.
this guy just walked around in really well lit rooms and scared the shit out of you. So
That's
I
exactly.
do love this shot.
I
There's a
do
lot of
too.
stories. I've got a lot of stories about the mirror, the glass, and the axe. But, one thing at a
Oh,
time.
yeah. Well, I would love to hear because I know that you smashed the glass, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
we put Mylar on it, which is a thin protective coating. So, and it's
Okay.
strong, strong, strong. We use it in car windshields. Use it. So I slammed that thing with a real axe as hard as I could, and
Wow.
we couldn't get it to do what we wanted it to do. It wasn't enough to scare her. So there's a couple of little secrets there. But well, my
Okay.
favorite axe story is that Jared survived the axe in Urban Legends, but he didn't survive what was an axe from the same batch in
Hmm.
Psycho. Yeah.
Oh.
It's an interesting piece of film trivia. It's like, well, it's the same axe in both movies, and
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
it may not have been the exact same axe, but it's from the same batch and it's from the same what
Yeah.
we call the same pour, the same mold.
Okay.
There were 20 or 25 axes, but I love telling people that the axe that Jared Leto survived in Urban Legend, but we killed him in American Psycho. Both shot in Toronto, and I think only a couple of years apart, or maybe 1 year apart. But we got him. Christian got him with the axe from Urban Legend.
That is so
It's a
cool. So, because in
it's a
American
funny
Psycho,
bit.
I remember that scene again. I just watched that movie a few hours
People
ago.
forget Jared Leto was in the movie. They forget that
Yes,
Christian Bale kills Jared Leto in American Psycho, and I'm like,
that's
I
right.
forgot how cool it is. To me, I'll see the same actor many times, and you
Yeah.
just forget about how cool it is. I did a day or two as a bit player on Suicide Squad, and I
Okay.
had to say hi because it had been years, right? Like 20 years. And Jared looked at me and just goes, you stay away from me. And I was like, how cool
That's
is that?
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that axe. I mean, I remember with Christian Bell with that axe. Um, and that's so cool now to know that was from the same batch that you used for Urban Legend. That is amazing.
Nothing compares to the chainsaw, man.
Oh my gosh.
That was the most complicated prop. We had, I don't know, there must have been 5 or 6 different types of chainsaws,
Hmm.
including a real one, which we never used. We were like, what are we doing with a real chainsaw?
Right.
Insanely dangerous. But like the chainsaw going down the stairs and
Yes.
all that stuff. But having 3 basically naked actors on a marble floor with blood
Yes.
and a sharp, big, giant prop is
Ooh.
very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, American Psycho, did that have stunts? And I'm like,
Uh,
not really, but yes, and really
yeah.
difficult. Really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was thinking that too. I mean, on the rewatch again, it's like there's some intense stuff going on in this movie. And when he runs out there with the chainsaw, and that was actually one of the questions I had prepared. I was going to ask you about that scene when he's got the chainsaw and he's trying to time it up with her, and hitting the bottom of the stairwell.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, we hung a couple, like we hung them with wires and we dropped them on descender
Okay.
rigs. We threw a couple for real, like we dropped a couple rubber ones for real.
Okay.
I can't remember what we must have done here, but it's hard. It's a long time ago, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we tried everything and it works. It's
Yeah.
cookie seed. It's cookie seed. Mary
Yeah.
Herron did a mind blowing job on that movie, and I didn't realize what I was part of. I really didn't. I hadn't read the book. Christian Bale was like, "Who's this guy?" I didn't even know he was English at the time, until we were halfway through the shoot because he was in character.
Oh
And
wow.
and Mary is, closet genius. I don't know, if closet's the wrong word. She was just fantastic. So when you're working with material that's that strong, your job is easy, and all you're doing is just translating. You're just bringing it to uh, whatever realization, whoever's finished and vision.
Mhm.
And in this case, it was Mary's. But such a collective, crazy, wacky job that I didn't realize what we were making.
Wow.
Um,
It
yeah.
is a really good movie, man. It's seriously I mean, it's
Well, and it's got a lot to say, and it's not
yeah,
that untimely now. It's like
it's
things come
true.
around again, And it's the same thing with the zombie stuff, where your social commentary, because like we're still arguing the same points, we're still telling the same
Yeah.
story, and
Yep.
it's sad in one regard and it's fantastic in another. In that, well, there's another 41 movies here if we want, because the story never changed. We're
That's
still
right.
fighting the same horrible issues are still
True.
issues.
That's true. It's very true.
400
Now,
years.
it's so true, Matt. I mean, when I was watching it earlier, I'm like, this movie, this could be released now. Like this could be 2023 release, and it would be
Yeah,
completely on point with where we're at. I mean, it's not dated at
absolutely.
all. I mean, all of it fits. Um, and for American Psycho being the stunt coordinator, I've always wanted to ask this question, and I've never asked this. I have a very general idea of what a store coordinator does in terms of kind of being in charge of the stunts and the crew. I get that, but could you kind of, just for my audience and for me, help us understand what that, because there's always more to it than meets the eye. Like what really is your role as stunt coordinator that goes into this?
Man, that you have a couple of weeks.
Right? I'm sure.
Oh man, it's different on every job, right? Like,
Okay.
you could have a script that has nonstop action, balls to the wall, um, and you're throwing people around left, right, and center. It encompasses everything from an actor literally slapping someone's face
Okay.
to flipping a car and obviously going 300 feet over a cliff and being on
Wow.
fire and blah blah blah. I don't want to sound like a jaded old bitter stunt guy, but
No, 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 no.
46 years. But so what goes
Wow.
into it is really job dependent, and it's
Okay.
all job dependent. So in the case of American Psycho, Mary, not an action director, not somebody that's experienced with action. She looked to me for help. How do we do this stuff?
Nice.
Justin Theroux jumps off a balcony in the middle of the movie in a
Hmm.
bar scene, and it's a well-known Toronto location, and we did not double him. He jumped into a box rig like a stunt guy himself in a bar
Wow.
called the Phoenix. But like to try to answer what it entailed, it's too tough. I mean, Psycho had fights. Well, in terms of we had fights and a little bit of car work, I
Hmm.
think, and it had a lot of what we call actor action and protecting the actors. And
Okay.
I love to use the cast as much as possible.
Yeah.
You can't double an actor if the scene is like this and you're here and it's about emotion, it's narrative, and I'm a big proponent of your action needs to come out of the narrative. You don't want gratuitous
Mhm.
bullshit action that's because it's cool, or
Exactly.
I could throw this guy like this and then take my belt
Yes.
off and tie his. I'm like, shut up! Like, what would you do
Hmm.
in real life? We would not do that. You kick him in the balls or you grab him, like,
Hmm.
keep it real.
Yep.
And that's what American Psycho was, and it's so it's not going to come out right, but when I say it, but it was easy in terms of the material is so strong and so well written. You don't mess with it. You don't read a
Hmm.
script like you don't read American Psycho and in a meeting say, "Hey, how about if?" You just don't. It's like
Yep.
it's right there on the page, and it was.
Yes.
I was lucky. You got to get lucky. I mean, and that goes for a giant bar fight in a Western brawl or
Hmm.
a car chase. I did 4 seasons of a show called Top Cops that had car chases every week. And it was like, well, how are we going to make this car chase different? It was like, we're not. We're not. We're just going to have the cars chase each other.
There you
Shut up
go.
and go do
I
it.
love it. Yeah.
And you're like, and it's like, well, so what goes into this car chase? And you're like, we just chase the cars. we just do it for we just do it for real. And we keep it safe. It's nothing else we do.
Yeah.
But to try to describe the job, what
Sure.
goes into stunt coordinating, it's so different day to day and show to show. It really is.
Makes sense.
There
Yep.
are, we qualify things like, well, we need to have a stunt coordinator there for something that's as simple as a girl's reaching for an apple in a tree. And maybe she's 9 years old, and maybe she's on her tippy toes and she falls. You have to have a stunt coordinator there. And that's like, what are you doing? Well, I'm stunt coordinating. Well, what is it? A girl's reaching for an apple in a tree. The next day you might be saying, we're doing a cannon roll with 3 cars and they all blow up. And
Oh, wow.
I got safety divers and there's 25 riggers and going to be 80 stunt people there. And it's like, that sounds like a big day. So it's a hard one to answer.
No, but that makes sense though. You really, because it's not cookie cutter. It's not. Every movie's so different from the other, and yeah,
and it's true. Same is true of everything. I guess the older I'm getting more poetic. But props, art department, makeup, wardrobe, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing is cookie cutter. Even though you may be on the same show for 15 seasons. Like there's a wardrobe person, I'm sure, on Grey's Anatomy, and he or she has seen the same thing for however many episodes for 18 years or whatever the heck it is, but I bet you it's still not cookie cutter for that person. There's always something.
No.
There's a reason we stay in it and we never leave. It's kind of like crack, and I used to call it. It's like tree planters in Canada. They go up to remote areas and they pay them a ton of money for 3 weeks of work, and they get bitten alive by and then they go blow it all in Vegas. it's like this kind of filmmaking when you're a gig worker. It's never cookie cutter.
Mm-mm.
And that's how we all end up doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Sure. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it makes total sense. Hey, real quick, we have a question in the chat. Scott Royston with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Scott. Says happy birthday, Matt.
See that? Wow.
Thank you for being here
Thank
tonight.
You, Scott. That's so amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Your work at Urban Legend was incredible. Hi, Craven. How are you? I'm doing good, man. But his work, it was incredible in Urban Legend. It's and something about kind of flip flopping a little bit back to the. I actually have some more Psycho stuff for you, but going back real quick to Urban Legend. All of these killers, and I say all of them. A lot, when you think of like the big ones, all the big killers we think of that are in costumes, their faces are covered. Like a Scream, like a Ghostface, Michael Myers, whatever. They're non-speaking, in other words, and so, well, Ghostface speaks, but that's not really, you know what I mean. That's with Roger L. Jackson in the studio, and so it's a little different there on the phone.
Yeah,
but But what I find fascinating, Matt, and I love with what you did in Urban Legend is that whenever you're in the scene, whether you're in the school going up the stairs, the swimming pool, wherever it is you're at, and your movements are just as intimidating and powerful as your actions with the acts. And when you do it well, like you did, it's very well done. You did an amazing job using your body to communicate confidence, very confident, very intimidating. It wasn't, without saying a word, just your walk was intimidating.
Yeah. It's very cool you're bringing that up. I got to give, 96% of the credit for that to Jamie Blanks. He was very aware and very concerned with the physicality because we were trying to throw the audience off, right? That it was a man and not a woman. A long sort of funny story about how I brought 6 or 7, maybe not that many, but ladies in to put the coat on and show us, be a killer. Here's an act to be a killer. And Jamie and the producers were like, well, I can tell it's a girl. And I was like, well, it is a girl. Like in this script, like, well, we want to throw them off, so let's use a guy. So I brought in a couple of guys. I was like, I need a guy that can't just be anybody. Can't be a 6'5" guy. Can't be a 5'6" guy. And they weren't happy with them. And we were sort of like, well, what are we going to do about the killer? Because not going to be. We're not going to ask Rebecca to do this for the whole movie. There's no way.
Right.
And I was busy, man. It was a very busy movie for me, and I was like, well, I can't do it. I'm gonna be. There's a lot of stunts in this movie. I got to do
Yes.
Josh in the car. I got to do Tara. I got to do Michael. I got to do John Neville with the parking lot. Like there were gags, and Michael McDonald seriously goes, you know what? You're gonna be there every day, all day long. You just do it. Can you coordinate and still do it? And I was like, I guess there's going to be points where I can't. And there were a couple of second unit days
Yeah.
where I couldn't. So there are a couple of moments in the movie where it's not me, and
Ah.
you can tell the difference in the movement. And it's
Ooh.
I don't think I should give it away, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
well, I could, but like maybe I
It's up
better
to you. That's totally up to you. I would love to know, but it's only if you're comfortable sharing that. I would
it's
love to, because then I'll watch for
only
that
for
next time.
2 seconds. But there are two of my guys that at the time I used all the time sub for me because I was on the other unit. I was with Michael doing second unit, and
Okay.
when we killed Josh, and I doubled Josh on a movie called The Skull,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so it was like I can't believe I'm gonna kill him, but I can't double him. Like he's my guy, and Josh was like, I can't believe you're not doing it. So a wonderful stuntman in Toronto, Brian Jagursky, doubled him for that one gag where he actually
Okay.
hits the windshield
Mm-hmm.
and lands in Alicia's lap. And it was
Yes.
like it just killed me. But it was like I had enough to do. I was doing backflips off the car, so it was like I can't do the rope gag and the car gag, and it's like
Goodness.
can't play everybody in the scene. So
No.
yeah, gotta give Brian full credit. But I think it's in the pool, the pop scare, the fake scare in the pool, the
Yes.
misdirect in the pool. That is
Yep.
the long walk down the pool is not me. And it's
Okay
like
then.
you can tell there's something different about that walk. And I was like, I don't have any control over it. I wasn't there that day.
That's
There was
right.
no stunt that day. So it was like, and with a Parker like that and a balaclava, like, anybody can be the killer. But
Mm-hmm.
it's meaningful to me that you bring that up about the movement, and because it's hard to make, anybody can
Yeah.
carry an axe and anybody
Right.
can, same thing with, well, more for Ghostface than for Mike Myers, but like, it's hard to be scary when you don't have a lot to go with and you're behind a
No.
mask. But
That's right.
I'll tell you, here it's my first convention ever, and I had to move from one room to the other, and I was just walking through the lobby, and everybody's like, "You didn't go through the lobby, did you?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" They're like, well, no, we have a whole back way, and I'm like, "Nobody knows who I am. It's fine. Nobody's stopping me and going, oh, Matt Birman, urban legend." I'm like, no, they don't know who I am. Very.
That's going to change though, Matt. The more you do these cons,
I'm gonna do a
that's
couple.
going to change it.
Apparently, I'm coming back to what am I coming back to? Frightmare. And that's
Yeah, Texas
in
Frightmare.
Irving. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That sounds like that would be up my groove, and I'm gonna do another one. It's fun. I've met a bunch of great people, and I'm
Yes.
surprised, frankly. I wasn't sure
Mm-hmm.
how I felt. We live in a very those of us that make movies and we're on set. The outside world is like them, and
Right.
we don't often cross over. I've always, because I come from the theater and I am my parents' kid, I love it when there's 2,000 people watching us make the movie. There's that
Yeah.
part of me that's from the theater that loves that there's a live audience watching us make the movie. And
Yeah.
look at me, and be concerned with what I'm doing, and I hope you like them, all that stuff. So
Sure. Sure.
it's very cool. And I was worried that I just, I've not been in this world. My experience in this world has always been with George and zombies, and that's where I
Mm-hmm.
come from in terms of the horror world. And I'm learning that there's many different facets to the horror world, and
Very.
it's fascinating. It really is fascinating that
Yes.
there's, you really dove into some of these films and what they're doing. It's very cool.
Yeah. Very fascinating
Hey,
stuff.
Jonathan, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Jonathan.
see a text there. I got to say thank you to the birthday wishes. That's great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Yes, we appreciate that. And here we got a question from a good friend of mine here at the channel, Eric at over at Two Boys and Their Scary Pops. Thank you, man, for the super chat. That says, "What was the most difficult stunt you've had to perform?" Ooh,
It's always such a hard question.
I bet.
I very often revert to a high fall I did years and years ago, not so much for the height or what the gag was, but because of where it was. I I had to jump off a drawbridge, and it was a single lever drawbridge, not
Oh,
one of these. It was one of
yeah.
these.
Oh, really tall.
So as it's going up, well, it was 131 feet tall, but I think where I went, where I did the gag, it was probably only 100 or 90 or whatever. Some people exaggerate, right? Like you tell a story and it's 70 feet. 10 years later, it was like, oh, it was 85 feet. 10 years after that, it was like, it's 150 feet. But the bridge is doing this, and we were on a part of the platform of the bridge, like it's hard to describe the construction, but standing on the connecting part, and it has to go up, and as it's going up, you still don't see the water. All you see is the other side of the road. So you just all I saw was cement until the bridge was like here, and I was
Oh,
like, in my head, I was like, I thought I could do this. I knew I could do this. But now that I'm up here, all I see is the road. You realize I had, like, if I jumped too far, if I did, yeah. So
oh
I always
man.
answer that gag scared me more than any other gag. But, you know,
Yes.
lots of fire, and Lord knows lots of fires. But you get really good at what you know. And I know all the stunt guys out there that ever hear this or listen to this. I'm a driver, and there's no car gags that because you're just comfortable. Like
Mhm.
200 car accidents, you can't scare me with a car gag. But
Wow.
that 100 footer, 90 footer, whatever it was, I
Ooh.
hated it. I hated saying the bridge has to go higher because
Oh
I can't see the water yet.
gosh.
It's like I was like,
Ah,
my mother would kill me if she knew it. And thank God it was a straight jump feet first.
yeah.
I didn't have to do anything fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the thought of that just makes me. I can't even. Nope. I would have to say sorry.
I hope that answers this question. Fire is always difficult. Fire is always very difficult, and small stunts that hurt are very difficult.
Oh, I
I
bet.
always say it's the little ones that hurt. Bar fights hurt more than flipping a car. So I hope I'm
Mm-hmm.
not giving away too many industry secrets, but
Oh no, no. I, I,
don't ask me to fall down the stairs anymore.
no doubt.
But that's like the going back to Psycho, the
Yeah.
bathroom and the chainsaw, a marble, covered in blood, which is slippery, with
Yes.
no clothes, with no clothes on,
Oh gosh. Yeah. You could
almost
easily.
over.
Yeah. We'll start to wrap up. We can start to
That's
wrap up.
okay. It's okay.
Um.
I got handlers and stuff, but I'm enjoying
Sure.
this. It's great, you know.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I am too. It's really wonderful.
And
Um.
I just want to clear one thing up. I love your passion for this,
Yeah.
you gotta dig that. Your craving something scary is so cool because
Oh,
you know you
thank you.
immediately think of Wes and
Yes.
George would have gotten a big kick out of the title of this stream, this craving
Oh,
something scary. I just
thank
wanted to
you.
clear up that it chapter 2, which you got
Mhm.
promoted, and so is this festival, and I guess because it's on IMDb and it's a high profile movie. But I was
Yeah.
just a guest. I was just a guest for a couple of weeks. Jamie
Okay.
Jones, a very talented stunt coordinator, stunt performer, one of the best stunt men we have in Canada. He coordinated it chapter 2 and
Okay.
he's Andy's guy. I just was lucky enough to guest, and I spent I spent a week with the adults and a week with the kids.
Love it.
It was
Yeah.
really cool. And I didn't, and when I shot it, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I know the book. This has nothing to do with the first movie. Like
Yeah.
these scenes are kooky crazy, and I knew Bill from I did Hemlock Grove, so Bill
Hmm.
was no stranger to me. But I didn't get to work with him on his version because it looks like stunt coordinator in chapter 2, and I just wanted your audience to know that I was just a guest. I did very very little on it chapter 2, but cool movie, very cool
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
thanks for
without
clearing
it.
that up. No, you're good. I'll remember that for when I have you back a second time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get you back.
I'll be back. Wait, we're buddies now.
That's right. That's how I feel. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We'll
So
do a zombie episode, man.
I was going to ask you if we could do that next time because I'd love to get into this movie right here.
Oh, I
Whoa,
love
and
it.
that's we have to do that next time for
I,
sure.
I love that movie. Yeah, and I've got, I don't know, 57 or 107 stories, but I did that Dawn of the Dead remake. John Stoneham Jr. is a stunt coordinator. He brought me on to do to babysit main unit. Well, he did. We call it babysitting. Still doesn't work. But to be with Zack Snyder, well, he did second unit. I ended up performing on second unit, but I
Nice.
didn't really know what the whole legend and the lore and the this and the that. Who doesn't know who George Romero is? So I knew all that, but I was like,
Yeah.
sure, man, I'll come do your movie. And I had the time of my life. It was like a very hard job. And Zach was,
Oof.
just a ball of energy. He was so cool. And I didn't sleep for 3 weeks on that movie, but I met George for the
Wow.
first time right after that movie. Like weeks,
Oh.
weeks after Dawn of the Dead. And he was like, how you doing, man? I was like, I'm good. I have to confess where I just came from, and it's like, and I knew he didn't. So there's a lot to talk about. He didn't like
Yes.
fast zombies. I'm sure you know. It was just like
Ooh, right.
he just went, oh yeah, no, I know about it. Fast.
That's awesome, Dan. Woo, that would be.
There's a lot of stories. I mean, I also bridged the gap with Paul Anderson on Resident Evil 4, and it's like George had a funny expression. We were coming up with a title. They didn't have a title for Survival of the Dead. It was a working title, just ... of the Dead, a George Romero project. And so we kicked around for half a year. What are you going to call this movie? Duel of the Dead. It was a Western. Right? His favorite title was Enough of the Dead. No more.
That's enough
No
of the
more
dead.
zombies.
Yeah.
Enough of the Dead.
Right.
I was like, gotta make that movie. Gotta make that movie someday.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe Simon and Edgar will make that movie. I don't know.
Oh, that would be great. I would love to see that. Yes. Hey, real quick, Matt, as we start to wrap up, just a couple of real quick things. Lighting Ghost, who's been a member of the channel for 7 months. Thank you, Lighting Ghost. Now I know the answer to this, but because you touched on it a minute ago, you have worked with Bill, right? On Hemlock, right? Yeah. So you know him well.
Well, not well, and I know he would remember me, but and Landon as well. But for Lighting Ghost, no, I did not work with Bill on It Chapter 2, but I worked with Bill a whole bunch before that. And,
Yep.
And we had a good time on Hemlock. I did 2 years at Hemlock, and that was a funky show. Eli Roth, baby.
Eli Roth, I'm telling you, he's got his own style, man. It is very, very, it's very him. You know what you're getting into.
You got a werewolf and a vampire in the same room. There's gonna be trouble. But yeah, it was.
That's right.
I'm proud of that job, and it's one of those. It's a streamer that's maybe people don't talk about it much, but the quality of work and the craftsmanship that went into Hemlock I'm proud of that show. I didn't do the first season. And good buddy Tom Farr took the slack on the third season, and I sort of stuck around, but I directed second unit. And
nice.
Yeah, Bill was
awesome.
Bill's a cool dude. He comes from good stock, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure. My gosh.
Quite the family.
Hey, you're not kidding. For real. And Matt, I do have one final question for tonight, and again, I'll save my other questions for you for next time. But real quick for tonight.
It's a date, man.
Yes, I can't wait, and I'll reach out to you. We can coordinate it. But here's a question for you. Going back to American Psycho, last question of the night. Do you believe personally, or do you know if Patrick Bateman actually killed anybody, or was all of that in his head?
You know you're going to ask this, and I have never known Steven, but I got to tell you, gut has always said the whole damn thing is in it.
See?
That last shot.
Yes.
There's no. Why is it empty? Why is there nothing there?
Right.
Is it not? And I didn't know Mary Herron well enough to go, hey, what gives? And I have to
Yeah.
believe I'm right. I mean, it's too over the top and too big of a social commentary to think that he actually killed us.
Yes.
I think it was all in his head, but that's just me, the film lover, and not so much me, the stunt guy or the horror guy. But oh, look at that Night Watch
See?
Zone. There's the answer.
Night
I
Watch
really
Zone.
do.
Oh, yeah.
And
Go
I'm
ahead. Sorry.
saying that having not seen the film for a long, long time. Like now, you're making me like I gotta watch it again. But I hope I'm not talking. Hope I'm not talking through my ass.
No, I don't
If
believe you are.
If there was a single object of any kind
Mhm.
in that shot, I'd be like, maybe it was real. But it's
Yes.
empty, right? Isn't it just?
Yeah. It's
refresh
like
my
paint
memory?
cans in the
Isn't
drawer
it-
in the closet. It's
and it's
a
just
real
and the
estate agent.
carpet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all
And it's
clean.
like
It's on the
it's just
market.
a
Yeah.
closet. Yeah,
That's right.
I'm like,
That's
yeah,
right.
it was all. I always think of Dorothy going, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there at the end of the Wizard of Oz. You're like, oh my
All
God,
right.
it's the Wizard of Oz! It's the Wizard of Oz!
So true. Eric says, thanks again, Matt, for spending some time with us on your birthday. Appreciate you and congrats on all of your achievements. Absolutely.
You guys are so sweet. Your audience is super special. I can't thank you. That's great.
Oh, thank you, Matt. They are amazing people. They're all passionate, so kind, and so appreciative of your time, as am I. It's a real honor to spend this
And
time
I'm
with
sorry if the sound is weird. I didn't want to do
you.
it in my
Okay.
room here because the room is there's no actual overhead lighting. I'd be
Yeah.
crammed into a corner trying to find light.
Oh,
So I thought this was
no.
a little bit better, but there are people around, and I apologize for that.
No
We'll do it
apologies.
again, man. We'll do it
Yes,
again.
we will absolutely do it again. I'll reach out to you soon, and we can look and see how maybe things look for you next month, and maybe in September we can have you back. We'll take a look and see.
Awesome.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
I'll be a
guys,
regular. I'll have my own
hey,
television show.
listen, you're welcome here anytime. In fact, I'm gonna throw this out there before we go. This really is the last thing, I promise. And I like to ask this sometimes from folks that we have a really good rapport, and I feel like we do. Would you ever be open to, or at least you don't have to answer it even right now, just think about it, to coming back and watching Urban Legend on a live stream with me? And I do live watch parties with my audience all the time. And
Fine. I didn't know you did that. That'd be fun.
oh, sweet.
That would be a heck of a lot of fun. If you want, for your audience and you, before we do that with Urban Legend, if you want a good kick, the funniest thing, I don't know why I get such a kick out of it. The Survival of the Dead. If anybody owns the DVD, there's a commentary,
Okay.
and it's basically we just talk and scream and yell and tell bad jokes over the entire film, and
Oh,
it's like if you're into it, it's the most annoying and yet hysterical thing you've ever heard in your life. And we
oh
did
my
it,
God.
and there were 5 of us. It was like
Oh,
me and
wow.
Michael, the editor, and George and Peter, and oh God, why am I blanking? Anyway, one of the actors.
Yeah.
We just basically ruined it. Like we were terrible, and we finished this. 2 hours. And I've never done a commentary for a DVD, and all we did was talk about ourselves and make bad jokes. And we
That's
finished
awesome,
it,
though.
and the producer was like, "Well, we can't use any of that. We'll have to redo the whole thing." And it's like they used the whole thing exactly the way they didn't cut anything.
Oh my
All of
God.
our screaming and our bad jokes and all this stuff. And George is having the time of his life. And
That's great.
but
You know
I
what?
mean, a
Yeah,
live watch. You'd have to talk me through it. I've never done it. I don't know what it
sure.
is. I'd be
Oh,
happy
yeah.
to do it. And
Okay.
I feel it would feel weird doing it without Jamie or Michael, producer, but or even James, the DP. There's a lot I don't remember. It's now
Sure.
5 years. But
Well,
it
listen,
was
yeah,
42 nights of praying rain. It'd be fun to talk about.
yes, and we would be honored. It would be amazing to have you watching it with us, and you could talk about those scenes and different things that come to mind as you're watching it. It would be such a joy and an honor. So
We'll do
thank
it, man.
you.
We'll do it. We'll do it. And
Oh,
thank your audience again. Hey, Brad Dourif, what's not to talk about? We got Brad Dourif.
that's right. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want to thank everyone in
Thank
the
you,
chat.
man.
And Matt, I want to thank you for doing this and on your birthday. We clearly
Yeah.
got the present. We got the birthday present. Okay. For so
Cool.
for sure. And I'll
Let me
definitely reach
again
out to
before
you.
I get too old. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Great.
All right, Matt. We'll see you soon,
Have a
buddy. I'll
good
talk
one,
to you
Steven.
soon. You too,
Bye-bye.
man. Good night. All right. That was fantastic. Wow. Guys, there you go. Yeah, Matt Birman right there on the stream. And guys, he's coming back for a watch party of Urban Legend. Oh my goodness. It's one of my favorite movies. You guys know that. And I'm going to be giddy that night when we do that watch party. That is going to be so cool having Matt here as we're watching his movie, The Killer in Urban Legend, right there. We'll be watching it on the panel, and I will get that booked. I will try to get that booked in maybe September. So stay tuned. As soon as I get confirmation from Matt on a date and time, we'll work it out. I'll get it set up and make the announcement for you guys. All right, guys. Well, listen, I will let you guys go. I know it's late on a Sunday night. I appreciate all of you being here and all of those of you who are watching the replay. Thank you as well. Thanks for your super chats tonight. And Dino says, that was so cool. Great call on the watch party. Yeah, buddy. Jason, thank you, Cream, for us. You're welcome, Jason. Good night to everyone. Yeah, absolutely. And Scott and Travis and Lighting Ghost, everyone that was here. Val, everyone, you know who you are. I'm not going to call everyone's name because I'll miss one, and I don't want to do that, so I'll stop there. So everyone that was here, I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you, Eric. That means a lot, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you and appreciate all of you. And I'll be back tomorrow night. You know, tomorrow night's Monday night. And so I'll be streaming tomorrow night. I'll get it set up tomorrow. So be sure you have your notifications turned on. I know sometimes they don't always come through, which is frustrating, but turn them on and keep your fingers crossed. But I'll be posting on the community post as well as social media. So if you're following me on Instagram and Twitter, you're going to always know when I'm streaming because I post everything in advance. So if you have not followed me, here you go, guys. There you go. Follow me on Instagram at Craven Something Scary, Twitter at Craven Movies. If you're not done so, and you'll always get notified because I will post a thumbnail before every single stream. All right. So last thing I just want to mention, we've got coming up. Today's the 13th. Let's see. We've got next Saturday, the 19th, guys. I've got Academy Award winner and Emmy Award winner Scott Leva, who was an actor on Wes Craven's Red Eye. He will be present, and he did stunt work on Red Eye. Stunt co-coordinator for Insidious 2, stunts on Insidious, the House on Haunted Hill remake in 98, and he was the stunt coordinator for the original House on Sorority Row in 1982. The original. We're going way back. But yeah, man, he was in Wes Craven's Red Eye. He's going to be the first cast member that I'm going to get to meet from Red Eye, and I'm very excited. So next Saturday, less than a week away, 9:30 p.m., we're going to be streaming right here with Scott Leva. So do not miss this. It's on my channel now. So be sure you smash that notify me button and the thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see if we can get it to 50 likes before we get there. And real quick, before we go, I want to also recognize Carrie Crave Cinema on her 17-month. Oh my gosh, Carrie, 17 months of membership, best 17 months of my life. What an absolute honor. Best cult in the world. Carrie, thank you so much. And your faithfulness is just so wonderful. You're a great friend. And I can't believe it's been 17 months. That's insanity. And last but not least, on September the 4th, which is a Monday night, well, we'll see. I'll either do it Monday night or Saturday the 2nd. I'm going to have my 2-year channel birthday party. We're going to celebrate the channel. My 2-year mark is September the 4th, and it's going to be an amazing time. So stay tuned for that. I'll set that stream up this week. And I think that's all the updates I have for you guys tonight. I just want to make sure I covered all those. What else? I can also mention this. After we have Scott here on Saturday, on that Monday, I'm going to have my buddy Zach Cherry over here. We're going to talk about wants and theories for Scream 7. So that's a week from tomorrow night. And we're going to finish on the 26th with Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, back to watch Scream 1. Scream 1 watch party with Lee Waddell. It's going to be an amazing finish to Wes Craven month here on the channel. All right, guys, I think that really is everything. So if you're just coming in late, I encourage you to watch the replay. It's a really fantastic interview. Matt gave us some great information. It was really fun. He's going to come back, and we'll be doing that watch party with Urban Legend. All right, guys, until tomorrow night, you have a wonderful evening, morning, whatever time you're listening to this, and I will see you all Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Hey, you have been watching Craven Something Scary. This is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, thanking you for stopping by and checking it out.